What's going on, boys and girls? It's new toy day. Um, this isn't not a review, nothing like that. I just don't really do that any longer. But there are a few. I had posted it on Instagram that there was a new member to the Trendkill Arsenal, and a lot of people asked why I chose this one over. The obvious reasons, the obvious brands like Blackstone, things like that. So now I'm not a brand loyal kind of guy. I feel like brand loyalty uh, and brand blindness is a very, very thin line that people like to walk. Um, I get what I want and I get what I like, and for various reasons. So why I picked this one, other than the glaring reason, is the fact that it was $3.99. Sam's Club. This is the Members Mark Pro Series, they call it. It is all stainless. It has uh, removable, grease tray. It has the lid on it, foldable shelves, magnetic strips on the front for your tools, along with the sides as well, have little notches for your tools. 720 square inches of griddle space on it, 5 burners that are all independent ignition and analog ignition, which I like. No batteries, just clicky click. And another reason, other than the stainless and the price, is the fact that it is completely the upper portion, the actual cooking unit itself, is independent of the base. Now, when I build in, I don't have to be concerned about anything. I shouldn't have to get crazy with what I need to do. I can simply just unbolt. There's 2 bolts on the side, and there's 3 bolts in the center for look like a heat deflector type thing, to keep it from the where the tank is and all that other good stuff. And then it would just come right out, and I should be able to stone it right in. It should be super easy, really nice. So now, when I seen it in Sam's Club, I was concerned about the build quality of it. Well, for one, the price point, it kind of, honestly, it's pretty damn good, man, for what you're getting here. So, but it was shaky. The thing was it was bad. But we all know those. The guys that put those things together for display purposes aren't exactly the epitome of quality control. So, but when I was putting it together, I am pleasantly surprised to see how well it's actually built. All the hardware is stainless. Every bolt, everything is stainless on it, so that's nice. But there's just a lot of added supports and things like that to keep it rigid. Uh, as for, like I mentioned, there's 4 bolts that hold the top unit to the base. Well, there's also bolts that mount the base or the base to the upper unit as well via the heat shield. So that was nice. And then if you take a look in here real quick, let me get you down. If you look in here, you have those support. Ooh, I didn't even turn down on you. Those supports right there go from the bottom all the way to the back to make the base a little more rigid, so it doesn't wobble, doesn't flex, doesn't turn, things like that. So just little things like that. I was actually quite surprised, and as you can see, all the lines are actually really straight on the damn thing. It's while that's the way it should be, that's not the way it always is. And at that price point, I really wasn't expecting the build quality it is. So I'm hoping she cooks and lasts as good as it seems to, the ability of it. So um, just a quick little walk around. The lid feels really nice and stable, opens and closes without flexing and twisting. It's got a mean ass griddle on it. Underneath the griddle, it has angled supports in it, to prevent any type of warping, anything like that. Pretty beefy. Drain right here, again, all stainless. It's built quite nice, guys. The shelves flip down, of course. Like I said, it has the, removable, dump your grease. And it also came with a scraper. But this is what actually surprised me is it comes with a cover as well. You don't see that very often. So I was actually pretty surprised about that. So, but that's about it on the thing. Like I said, just a quick little walk around. Why I picked this one over, the other obvious choices. And I'm going to get her in the back, and we are going to fire it up and get some seasoning done. Now, I season any griddle the same way I'll do my carbon steel pans, my cast iron pans, my grill grates on new grills, my grill grates on the grills I build. I do them all the same. Pretty much the same procedure. The only difference between the carbon steel pans and the cast iron pans is I do oven them. But it's the same steps. It's the same everything. So we're going to get this in the back. We're going to get it in her spot. And we're going to get this thing seasoned. One more thing that I thought was actually pretty nice. Now, this may just be typical for any griddle, but as you can see, you have these bolts right here. This is on the front and the back for leveling. So, I mean, wow, like I said, it's been 5 years plus since I've even owned a griddle, and my last one was a Camp Chef. But I was actually, I don't know. I think that's pretty damn cool, man. But that could just be normal game, man, for griddles. I don't know. But yeah, so I'll get it back there. I'll get it in its spot, and I'll make sure the griddle's leveled out, and we will get to seasoning this thing. All right, guys. Got her in its spot over here. This is where it's going to come through. The other side is actually going to have a little sitting area and stuff like that. So let's get this thing seasoned up. So first, I am going to use flaxseed oil. If you've been around me at all, you know that's what I use religiously when it comes to seasoning things. I mean, it just coats so nicely. It gives you that dark coating. Almost Teflon, man. So I like it. You can use plenty of other oils. I would suggest a high heat oil, but avocado, grapeseed, something like that. I wouldn't be using, you know, olive oil or anything like that. So I just have a little brush. I use this for my iron pans and microfiber cloth, infrared thermometer comes in very helpful. So I'm going to actually just start these at low, get them all lit. Man, for first light, look at that. That one missed it. There it is. Well, that's a good sign. So I'm going to turn these guys down. I'm just going to go minimum. Just so I can see what it is. Now, you guys know a lot of times with, you've heard me say it before. This is your first date, man. This is the best time when you're seasoning your grill. Is the best time to kind of get to know its quirks, get to know everything. So I'm going to monitor. I'm going to see where my hot spots are. I'm going to see what kind of temperature my griddle is getting at when I'm at low, medium, high, that kind of stuff. You just kind of get to know it. This is the best time to do that because you're not concerned with what you're cooking. You're not concerned with food. You're not worried about anything at all. You're just doing your thing, man. So I'm just going to let this warm up. I'm going to just bring it up to like around that 150 mark or so, and then I'm going to kill it, and I'm just going to get a little bit of water and like a mild dish soap, and I'm going to just wipe it all down, get any kind of oils or anything like that off, and then dry it, and then we're going to fire it back up. So I'm going to let this get up. It is, currently 72. It's pretty consistent, actually, right across the thing. So that's nice to see. So I'm going to let this get up to, like I said, about 150 or so. Just kind of give it that initial, just to heat it up. It kind of opens things up in the metal and the steel and stuff like that. And then we're going to give her a wash. All right, guys. So we are sitting at around 140, 145 all the way across. You can see all that stuff kind of steaming up, and you could see the color kind of lighten up a little bit. Now, the reason I didn't have my water, I figure I should point this out. For one, lint-free rags, always. But that's hot water. I don't want to douse it with cold water. But the reason I do this, I know a lot of people are like, oh, no, you wash it first. Well, I've just found when I do it like this, it's almost like steaming it. So let me shut this thing off real quick, though. Otherwise, it's going to get too hot for us. And I find that it's almost like a steam cleaning. And I feel like it just, I don't know. I did it on when I was making my griddles, and it seemed like it worked really good. I had one that I didn't do that with. I just did a normal wash and seasoned it. And then I had one that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try this. And it just seemed to take the seasoning so much better. So that's what we're going to do. So I have hot water, just got it, should still be hot. And we're looking at around 145, something like that. So we're going to be good. So now I'm just going to take our hot water here. We're not going to get crazy. We're not power washing this thing. We're just getting some of the factory oils off. Packaging, that kind of stuff. Sometimes there's styrofoam that gets blown around, you know. All shit we don't want to eat. So I'm going to get it rinsed out pretty good. You can use a barbecue glove if, you know. As you can see, all those marks and all that color is changing. And then you can see the water steaming off of it. So I'll do one with, you know, just damp. And there's very, very, very little dish soap in that. So it's just a minuscule amount. Just a little drip, drip. I'm going to get the edges because I like to season all parts. So for one, keeps it from rusting. And two, why not? So I'm going to run my hand along the back here. So I'm going to let this sit for a second. And see what came off of that? So it's all stuff that would have been on there. So I'm going to let this cool for a second. I'm going to get some fresh water without any soap in it. And we're going to give her one more wipe before it cools down too much. And then I'll just wipe it dry with my towel and we'll get to the real seasoning. All right, guys. So I lost a video there. As soon as I hit stop, it said error saving. What I was saying, what I did is I took the rag that we cleaned with, I rinsed it out nice, just had some hot water on it, just damp. We wiped it off one more time, and then I wiped it off dry with this rag right here. So what we're going to do is I fired them back up. We're at low. We're going to take them to, take it to around 225 or so. Just so the steel is at that point to where it wants to accept the oil and everything kind of opens up and it's like, all right, we're ready, So then we're going to hit it with some oil. We're going to brush it in and we're going to do that in increments while we bring the temp up. When we finally stop, we're going to be around that 450 mark and we're going to let it roll for about 30 minutes like that. And we're going to kill it, shut the lid and just let it do its thing. And when we're done, we should have a beautifully seasoned griddle. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are rolling around the 230 mark. So I'm going heavy on this first one because we're going to spread it out. We wanted to get it everywhere. So we're going to go just like so. I'm going to take the brush first. I just find the brush really gets you a nice even coat. And we're just going to get her in there. You can see I still need to do a little bit of leveling here. She wants to pool in this corner. So I'll go get my wrench, do that. Just like that. all our sides, get our edges. Like that. Some of this excess here. Just like that. Any crusties that want to come off of that steel, just going to push them right down there. I'll take this, wipe all this shit off here. All right. All right, so I'm going to let that go for a minute. And I'm going to take my microfiber here because this will take any excess. And I'm just going to spread it around here. Just because I didn't level it first. So I'm going to take this excess off. And then spread it back out with the brush here. Beautiful. Look at that. That's a nice coat right there, guys. A little something must have fallen on it. Or it's coming off my brush, one of the two. All right, so I'm going to let that go for a little bit. It'll start getting golden. That's when we'll know. So probably looking at about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So, and we'll play it by ear. But in the meantime, I'm going to go get my wrench and do some leveling while it's doing this. All right, guys. So here we are. Can you see? Getting a nice golden. Now you can see where the hot spots are, but they're actually not quite bad now that I leveled it. Because actually, you know, as you're leveling it, it's going to get closer to the burner in some spots. So she's pretty much even at a 350 all the way across, and that is at like a medium low. So around low, I noticed she was right around 182, you know, kind of just right in there. So for reference, I know, you know. So now we are going to, shit, I forgot what I was doing here. Got me all talking. All right, we're looking at about 350. All right, so I'm going to bump these up just a little bit. Give her some fire. And we're going to hit her one more time. I'm going to focus on these sections. Just like that. Now, I got her tipped just a little bit more to the front now, just for grease drain. So it shouldn't be so much. So if I put some eggs on it or something like that, fuck me. That phone, I'm telling you. Sorry for the language, guys. All right. For real this time. I'm going to go across here. Oh, yeah, she's soaking in real nice. I'm going to use my rag. A little too much heat for my brush. So I'm just going to smooth this out. This rag is saturated with the oil, so we're not really picking it up. It is snagging some of the poolings, which is fine. As long as we're getting oil coated on it. Yes, it's hot. So, I mean, you can use barbecue gloves if you want. I mean, probably be smart too. All right, so now I see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but we got some smoke coming off. So the oil is coming off. Everything's going through. I don't smell that steel smell anymore, you know, that raw. I just smell oil. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to let this go for probably another 15 or so. I might throw one more coat on in between just to see how it's looking. But other than that, we're just going to let her go. All right, guys. It's been about 15, and probably right around halfway mark. I just put one more little coat on there just so I can start to see it. And now we are going to put the final coat on. So I'm actually going to bump this heat up. I don't want to wait for it to get hot. I want to put it on now and let it finish off. And then once it gets to that temp, so we don't burn and get any bitterness or anything like that, then I'm going to kill the heat and let the metal settle and let everything kind of close in on itself, you know? So we are going to do a nice coat. We're going to spread it around. We are going to take our rag, which is still hot. So I'm going to double down on that one. You could use tongs also. And I am just going to spread this around. I'm going to let it soak in. I'm not worried about puddles right now because it's not really going to do that. So I just want to spread it out lightly. I'm not pressing hard at all. And then as it heats and goes, then I'm going to keep spreading it. So, and I want to take this right around to that 450 mark, like I was saying. So we're looking at about looking at just around 4 right now. So I am noticing that it is warmer in the back. So I'll make note of that. But I'm going to let this go for a minute. Then I'm going to give her one more wipe. And once we hit to that 450 mark, I'm just going to shut her down. All right, guys. So now, one last thing before I shut down. I just want to give her one little coat because it should take a while for it to cool down. So I'm going to throw one more layer on this thing because why not? It can only help. And then, of course, the more you cook on it, the better it gets. And finally, it warmed up enough. The sun hit these shelves enough that I got to get those stickers off. So I'm not going to be too concerned about how much or anything like that on this coat. I just want it to be everywhere. And I want it to just soak in. I want it to do its thing. Just like that, guys. Beautiful. Ooh, sizzle, sizzle. All right. So now, got that like that. I'm going to go 5 minutes at the very most. Oh, man, look at that. Dropped a pot or something on there. Woo! Don't do that. And then I'm going to take my rag one more time and knock down anything that is pooled up and kill the burners. All right, guys. So I got a nice fresh one here, lint-free, ready to go. And we are just going to knock down any of that excess we see. We're going to kill our heat. I always kill my tank. We'll go on this side right here. Just like that. One more wipe along the edges here. Get them evened out. Ooh, that's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. All right, get some of this excess grease that I've spilt everywhere. This dry side here. And just like that, guys, I'm sure you can see that beautiful gold bronze color on there. She is ready to go. So I'm going to let this cool. I'm going to close the lid just so I don't get anything falling in on it. And that's it. I'm going to let her cool down completely. And then that'll be it, man. Not going to be using this tonight, but I am going to be doing a video tonight. I'm actually going to make Nashville hot chicken over a live fire. So I've been thinking about this. Love Nashville hot chicken. I hate frying in the house. I hate frying in general, honestly. I mean, it's just so I got a couple of ideas that I think it's going to be good. I got a chicken. I halved it last night. It was late. I didn't do the video, but nobody needs to see me cutting a chicken in half and putting it in buttermilk. So a little bit of buttermilk, some of the seasoning, and it's been sitting overnight. I'm going to go pull it out, let it dry, and then I'm going to just start right from there. We're going to light a fire in the Santa Maria, and we are going to live fire some Nashville hot chicken. So, all right, that's it, guys. That's how I season everything. So, hope it helped, man. Later.